Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this is going to be finally a video that's been way overdue. It's going to be my labor and delivery story. So, where's to start? So, like I told you guys before, I gave birth on January 3rd, 2016. So, my baby shower was January 2nd, 2016. So, I want to tell you guys that I did have sex before my baby shower and after my baby shower, and like the contractions like started around probably like 11 something on the second, yeah, around 11 something. And I stayed with my boyfriend that day. So like I didn't know that they were contractions because they didn't hurt like that much, like they didn't hurt that much. So like prior to the third, well, the second, prior to the second, I was already 2 centimeters dilated. I knew that already when I went to my doctor's appointment, and I just was like kind of like rushing, like my due date wasn't until the 6th. So I was like, I want to be here, I wish she hurry up. So I was like eating hot chips, like walking around, like, you know, just trying to do things just to make them come faster. So like they were saying that if I go over my due date or whatever, they were going to give me an induced date. So I had a doctor's appointment on the 6th, the day of my due date, but I didn't make it. So so after the baby shower, like I said, I stayed with my boyfriend. So like the contractions started around 11 something. Like it was just like these sharp pains that came, like they wasn't like consistent at first. So like I didn't know like what it was. I just thought like my stomach was hurting. I was just cramping up or something. So they started getting like stronger, but they were bearable. So when it was like I tried to go to sleep, like I tried to lay down, but I felt more comfortable sitting up on the edge of the bed, like moving and doing my breathing technique. Now people were telling me like, oh, this breathing technique is not gonna work. It was like you know, just breathing in like real heavy and breathing out real heavy. I'd be like, this breathing technique not gonna work, the contractions are gonna hurt, and yada yada yada. That went out the window. So once it was like around 1ish, going on 2 o'clock, the contractions were getting close. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So like I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I think I'm having contractions, like they're starting to be close. Like I was calculating them, and some were like 2 minutes apart, some were 3 minutes apart, and some were 4 minutes apart. So my mom was like, call the doctors. So I called the doctor. I'm explaining to the doctor. So me and my boyfriend had rode to the gas station, and like we were at the gas station, and like I was having so many pains. Like I was like on the edge of the chair. It wasn't like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably like a 6.5 going on 7, no more than 8. So like I'm on the phone with the doctors. I was on the phone with the doctors for like probably like almost half an hour. They was like, I think you should come in, and I'm like, and I was like, okay. But like a couple days before my baby shower, I had thought like, well, if I felt these pains and I felt like my area was like bigger, like I was just like going through the motions. So I had went to the hospital, and like nothing was happening, and I filmed. They told me I was 2 centimeters and a half. So I said, okay. So when I went to the hospital, this was the 3rd now. So when I went to the hospital on the 3rd, at my hospital, as soon as you go in, if they see that you're pregnant, they send you right up. No waiting, no nothing. So I go up, and like I go in the room because there were no like you know how it was like the labor and delivery side, like whatever, like it's like delivery over here. Wait, I'm messing up. Labor and delivery, and then it's like the people who, like after you had the baby, and then it's like these little rooms, like kind of like the emergency labor and delivery rooms, I guess that's what you would call them. But I was in that room, and I was in that room at around like 2 something, no, later like 2:30, and like I was having contractions and stuff, and like he was like, you're 4 centimeters, and this was around like 3 something, going on 4. No, it was like 4 o'clock. Yeah, like around like 4 o'clock. And I said, okay, time moving. Like, and it was like, they're keeping me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was scared. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm 4 centimeters. Like, I was so scared. She was like, okay, I'll be there. Just call me. I'm like, okay. So I'm telling him, I'm like, babe, it's like time. Like, he's like, what you mean? I said, babe, we staying. Like, he gonna be here soon. Like, he's like, where else? Like, yeah, babe, I'm so scared. He's like, are you in pain? I said, yeah, but it's not that serious. So, like, they was like asking me like, did I want to get epidural? And I was like, I'm just trying to go natural. And I told them that I heard rumors that you could only go to like a certain amount and then you couldn't, like, you know, get the epidural. Like, so they was like, no, that's not true, but like when you about to push, they don't want you to get it. That's it. I was like, oh, people were saying like you had to wait like a certain centimeter, like, you know, people say you get the 9-10 centimeters, you can't do nothing, like whatever. He was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, well, my plan is to go natural and I want to see how far I can go. They said, okay. So he was like, I'll be back in about a half an hour to come check you again. So I said, okay. So he came back around like 5 something and he checked me. He's like, you're at 6 centimeters. We're like moving people out labor and delivery. The babies are coming fast. So I was like, okay. So he was like, your room should be ready soon. I'm like, okay. And I like tried to like take a little nap, and I mean, I was in the nap room since I had got there, and I didn't get into the actual labor and delivery room until like 6 something, almost 7. So like my mom came up there around like 8 o'clock, and my best friend had came, and my aunt had came, but my aunt couldn't come in the room because I didn't know that my best friend was like actually coming. I had told her I was in the hospital, but I didn't know she was actually coming. So at that point, I'm at 6 centimeters. So as the day was going, like the contractions started getting stronger, but at the same time they were bearable. They're like, you strong, and you see people would be screaming and they'd be so angry. Like I was calm, like it wasn't like, oh my god, like how people said it would be, like so painful. I mean, it was painful, but I literally could bear with it. Like it was just like, to me, that's the baby, he's like sleeping. To me, it just felt like a bad cramp. They like, what? Like, they just was like all confused. I'm like, yeah, it felt like a bad cramp. Like, it felt like a cramp. So, as the day was going by, just was going. I just was drinking water, and I was eating ice. And because I was just like getting so freaking dehydrated. Like, my mom was by my side. I love her so much. She was like, I started getting hot. They had to bring a fan in there for me. And they was like, they had checked me and they said I was like 7 centimeters, 7.5, yeah, 7.5, and that was around like 12ish, yeah, like 12ish, 1ish, and I just felt like it was so much freaking pressure, like so much pressure, so much, and all I could feel was like my contractions like really, really long, and I felt like all this pressure, like I had to like poop. So they was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So I go sit on the toilet. I was like, they let me walk around the hospital. Like I just walked from my room to like the waiting area, and just walking around didn't really help. I didn't really want to stand up. I just wanted to lay down because I felt more comfortable. The contractions were more, you know, bearable by me laying down. So yeah. When I got to about exactly 8 centimeters, that was around 2 something going on 3. The doctor was saying like, you're almost there and the baby should be here soon, and I was just like getting excited. And then the contractions started getting like really, 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 really strong. So they were saying like, usually people would say that the contractions will get stronger around like 5 or 6 centimeters, but the contractions to me were getting strong when it got to 8 and 9, like between 8 and 9, so it would be 8, 8.5, 9. They were getting strong to me. So like I was like, I'm ready to push, I'm ready to push. So this was around 3, yeah, around like 3:30. The doctor, I had told the doctor I had ring the bell. I'm telling the nurse, I'm like, I'm ready to push, I'm ready to push. And she was like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm ready to push. So she said to me, she said, well, you know, we can't keep, you know, checking you because we don't want bacteria to get inside you or whatever. So I said, okay. So she came and checked me. She was like, okay, you're 9 centimeters. So I said, so am I able to push? She said, you're not ready yet. So I said, so I'm exactly 9 centimeters. She was like, yeah, you're 9 going on 9.5. So I said, okay. I said, well, I want an epidural now. She was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. She was like, you're doing so good. You're almost there. I said, I know, but this pain is like getting strong and I can't sleep. I need to sleep. So I had got the epidural at basically 9.5 centimeters. So got the epidural. I was so freaking scared. I was like, oh my gosh, because I really didn't want it, but I wanted to get it because, oh shoot, I thought that was so I'm a freaking out like an idiot. So I got the epidural at 9.5 centimeters. I know everybody's like, but 9.5 centimeters, girl, you was there. I know, but I needed to get it because I needed to go to sleep. So I got the epidural and I slept for a good hour. Yeah, like a good hour. So they had like came and checked me again, and they was like, you're ready to push. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared. I was so scared. I'm like, mom, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. She was like, calm down, goddamn. I was like, mom, I'm scared out my mind. Like, I was like, no. So when it was time to push, I was like, okay. So I didn't know how to push. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that it was that. So like I can't even remember how many pushes I did. It was a lot of pushes. So when you have a baby, you have to push on contractions. So I was pushing through my contractions, and they were quite long. My contractions were quite long. And baby Carson was born at 5:36 p.m. He was 7 pounds and 10 ounces. Boy, oh boy. I couldn't believe it. Like, I really couldn't believe it. I didn't cry, even though I thought I would. My mom was literally on the left of me crying. She was crying because she was like scared, but she was crying because he was here. She had kind of like passed out, almost passed out, because she couldn't take it. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Like, I was asking my best friend and my boyfriend, like, do y'all see his head? Do y'all see his head? They was like, yeah, we see his head. I was like, oh my god. Like, I was so scared, and I was like happy at the same time. And like once he came and I heard the cry, I was like, oh my gosh. Now, Carson was stuck. His left shoulder had got stuck coming out when he was, you know, when I was pushing and stuff. His left shoulder had got stuck. So after he had came out, like, you know, they put him on the, you know, the table thing that they put the kids on, the babies. And then it was time for them to get my placenta out, and then they had left the room, and then, you know, they told me that they were going to get my food. So I said, okay. So the doctor and the nurse had came back and said that we need to, you know, get the blood clots out. When I tell you that them blood clots was like this big, they were really like this big. They was like a big piece of steak, like a big piece of steak. They were huge. It was at least 6 of them. I was like, oh my god, what is that blood? Like I was like so scared. I was like, oh my god, all this damn blood. So like after they did that, they was like, you did a great job. You're so adorable, and da 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 da. You know, all these little stuff that they tell you. So they had brought my food in, so I was eating, and I tried breastfeeding, and he latched on like that, like that. Yeah, he like latched on real quick. So they told me that my room would be ready in a little bit, so I said okay. I was in that room for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and after I was finished my food, I had kind of like took a little nap, and he had went to the nursery, you know, the routine that they do after you had the baby. And then it was time for me to go to my room. And being as I got the epidural, I couldn't really feel my legs. So it was like hard for me to walk, so I had to get in the wheelchair. That's typical with anyone. I'm pretty sure it's typical with anyone. But I had she had told me to stand up, and like when I stood up, she was like, put your feet together like this and make sure your legs, feet, and your knees are like literally like this next to each other. And I like actually fell down, like my knee was like this far from off the ground because I couldn't like really walk. So I go to my room. I had a room to myself. I was in the hospital for about 3 days, which is typical. Carson was perfectly fine. He was healthy. Everything was good. I enjoyed my stay at the hospital, and yeah, I came home 3 days after I had I didn't take the pictures, like, you know, the pictures that you take at the hospital that some hospitals have, because when it was the first time when she came, well, I think something, he was doing something. Oh, it was time for me to breastfeed or something like that. Something, I forgot the reason. But when she came the second time, what happened? So, I can't even, my head like somewhere else. The second time she came, he was sleeping or something like that, and he needed to be changed. And he was a little grumpy. And the third time she had came, it was like 2 people in the room, and I'm pretty sure she probably came another time, but it was like I had left. So yeah. But baby Carson is here, and he is 1 month now. He's actually a month and 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. I will do a 2-month update for you guys once he turns 2 months. After he goes to the doctors. He goes to the doctors on the 29th. So yeah, so I'll do an update after he goes to the doctors for his 2-month checkup. I know you guys want to say it's not gonna be 2 months then. I know, but they actually did it early, so yeah, perfectly fine with me. So yeah, so once I do the 2-month update, I'll give you all the specs on Carson, what's been going on with him, allergies, all that good stuff, sleeping pattern, all that. So I'm gonna show you guys. He is actually sleeping right now, so yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. This is baby Carson sleeping so peacefully. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.